overwhelmed with information. Doesn't make any difference at that point. You're not looking at the screen. You're not looking at the master caution light that's blaring in front of you. You're not really even listening to the horns that are going off telling you you've got an engine fire. All you're doing is pulling the nose of that airplane off when your co-pilot says rotate to get airborne. That's what we're trained to do. So you're not going to do anything until you get to 400 feet. When you get to 400 feet, you're going to say, tell me what I got. And the pilot monitoring is going to say left engine failure, right engine fire, whatever it is. And then you're going to say, okay, give me the quick reference checklist for the engine fire on the right side. I'm just making this up, but those are the sequence of events. 400 feet, nothing happens until that. Why? You want to get the airplane safely off the ground and away from any obstacles. They never got that far. Even though the NTSB said the ADSB data said 400 feet, no. Dutch Ronald Stevens writes, just out of curiosity, shouldn't the airplane be able to rotate with only 2 engines running on max thrust? Yeah, absolutely. And they did rotate. They got the nose off, but they should be able to climb out, is probably your question, with 2 engines. Yeah, if they'd had full power on the number 3 and the number 2 engine, even with that left wing on fire, they would have climbed out. Would they have made it all the way back to pavement? I don't know. But they would have climbed out and they would have missed the buildings. They didn't have full power out of 2 engines. They only had full power out of 1 engine, and that was the problem. All right, Mike BH7Esh writes, Captain Steve says that after V1 you must go airborne. Is that true? It would not make sense if a failure takes place after V1 or even at VR. That would make the plane unfit for flight to continue with the takeoff. Well, it's such a snap decision at that point. And all of us are trained over and over again that when you hear V1, you're going flying. Why? Because if you try to reject after V1, it's a certainty that you're going to go off the end of the runway. So the hopeful mind says, and the trained mind says, I got to get this airplane off the ground now. That's my number 1 priority, to avoid the obstacles at the end of the runway. What we don't train for is a dual engine failure on the takeoff roll. There's no point in that training. It would be negative training because you would crash every time. So on an airplane with 2 engines, yeah, dual engine failure, every time you're going to crash. A 3-engine airplane, again, it's not going to climb at all. It's going to see what